Yo, what's up, Doom Clan? My name is Incarnate or Incarnate HD or Doom Incarnate, and what you guys are watching right now is a double chem strike with the VEPR submachine gun on Strikezone, playing some domination, and this gameplay is brought to you by Zoom. Obviously, you guys know who he is. Clearly, he's one of the best players in Call of Duty Ghosts, and he hasn't stopped yet. He doesn't even play that much, and by the amount of gameplays that he gets, you can clearly see that he's just a fantastic player, man. So he's using the VEPR in this gameplay, I believe, with silencer and extended mags. And in my opinion, now this is just my opinion, obviously a lot of people are going to disagree with this, but the VEPR seems to me like it's the best submachine gun. Now I know that doesn't seem like accurate just because of how good the MTAR is, but in my opinion the VEPR, it kills, you know, relatively fast, not as fast as the MTAR does, but it has a bigger clip and has a better range, which in my opinion that, you know, compensates for the lack of damage. So, you know, the VEPR, it's a good gun, maybe not as good as the MTAR, but in my opinion, I have more fun using the VEPR, but it is a very connection-based gun. You're not going to do as well if you're not on a good connection, which in Call of Duty Ghosts and Call of Duty in general is something that we see. But this commentary is actually not going to be a rant, you know, which is different from most of the commentaries that you might hear about this game. This is actually going to be about DLC, and I don't believe there have been many commentaries made on this channel about DLC or on any channel, to be honest. I actually did make one about DLC on my channel, but that was about, you know, DLC across past Call of Duties, and this one's actually going to be about DLC in Call of Duty Ghosts. Now, this is going to be about what I hope to see in DLC and what can improve the game if it were to be added. So, I'm going to start out first with maps. Obviously, maps are pretty standard in DLC. I mean, in the recent Call of Duties, they've added camos and extra stuff, but maps are the standard thing that comes with the DLC packs. Maps are what everyone waits for. The zombies maps, and, you know, that's only in Treyarch games, but zombies maps, the new maps are survival, and I guess they're going to be implemented in squads, the new maps. But, I'm looking to see some maps from MW2 and COD 4. You know, and MW3, maybe Terminal might come back, maybe not. I don't think they're going to bring it back just because of how easy that map was to play. You know, I'm not bashing on anyone that plays Terminal a lot, but that map was kind of easy to play, and I don't think they're going to use the map 3 times over. But I have heard rumors that we're going to see maps like High Rise and Dome brought back in DLC. Now, I'm not sure if that's 100% confirmed, but hopefully those maps will be brought back. And, you know, maybe it doesn't fit the way Call of Duty Ghosts plays, but maybe possibly it could change the playstyle, because we see maps that are absolutely gigantic, like maps like Stonehaven and Siege, and to bring back these maps from older Call of Duties, which are generally, you know, small but generally large at the same time. I know that sounds kind of weird and doesn't make much sense, but they're, you know, they're decently sized maps. I guess you could say that they're medium-sized maps, and they're really fun to play. I mean, these are some of the fan favorites, but I'm honestly surprised they haven't brought back yet. I know they did bring back Terminal and MW3, obviously, because that was a fan favorite, but I'm surprised they haven't brought back any other fan favorite maps. Now, also, what I like to see is new guns. Obviously, that was done in Black Ops 2, but they only brought one new gun in, which I don't really see the point to. I mean, if you're going to add a DLC gun in one pack, why don't you add it in the others? I mean, the second they announced the Revolution, they said there's going to be a new gun, and everyone thought, you know, so high of it. They thought it was going to be so great because it's innovative, it's new, it's something that Call of Duty has not seen before, you know, a new gun. But it turned out the Peacekeeper was, you know, pretty good, which everyone thought. I mean, it's pretty obvious because it's actually a good tactic that Treyarch managed to pull off, because if the gun's so good, if it's good enough, or it needs to be good enough to make you want to buy it, basically, they're going to make the gun better than the other guns. Just because if you don't buy that pack, you're going to be missing out on that weapon, which is, you know, surpasses all the other weapons, which makes a lot of sense, and it's a really good money-making tactic, but it isn't good for us players. But hopefully when they do bring in new guns, they're not too overpowered and not too underpowered. We see some new stuff, maybe in a DLC pack. You know, this is kind of far-fetched, no, actually very far-fetched at that, but bring back a new gun from every gun class, you know, SMGs, LMGs, and such. That'd be pretty cool as well. Also, something that I want to see is maybe even some new perks. Now, I know this sounds really weird, and it just sounds so far-fetched and so out of the norm. You know, new perks. You might say, that doesn't really sound like a good idea. But think about it. You know, new perks could change the game drastically. Make it better, make it worse. But they really do need to think new perks through if they were to add them. I mean, in Call of Duty Ghosts enough, I think there's like 30-something perks. But maybe adding some more wouldn't hurt. because it would make the game more diverse and hopefully make the game seem a little bit different, just because it seems like every game you get into, they're all very similar, like the play styles with other players. Maybe if you added some new perks that do weird stuff rather than like typical useful stuff. I don't know, I can't give many examples, but you know, just thinking about it, maybe it's a good idea adding new perks. I don't know if that might sound really stupid because I couldn't give any examples, but it just came to mind, you know, adding new stuff in general, just making the game different and upgrading it rather than changing it. You understand? Like, what they've done in previous DLC is the game's been different, but not necessarily better. But DLC is kind of supposed to make the game better, because it is called an expansion pack. You know, I guess that's a synonym, an expansion pack. And normally when you expand, you know, you're getting bigger and better. And that's really something the DLCs have failed to do across all Call of Duties. Yes, Treyarch does have better DLCs in Infinity Ward, and yes, their DLCs are fun. But, you know, I just don't really feel like it makes the game, you know, it really makes the game worth playing more. It's not like, oh, this new DLC came out, I'm going to play this game a bunch more. You know, I want the DLC to have that effect on me. I want it to make me want to get on the game more. I want it to make me eager to play and get gameplays. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed this little bit different of a commentary topic. It wasn't really a rant. It was more of just an idea and hypothesizing for possibilities that, you know, Infinity Ward could do in the future. My name is Incarnate HD. My link will be in the description. I'm out.